Hello, hello everyone. I'm excited to read this book. I started a little bit later than usual in the day. I've been waking up a little later. I don't know, things are getting different. Calvin and Rome and Neela and Kaya and Easton and Raylan, I hope you're doing well. I hope everyone else is too. I love you. Let's hear about this story. A Blue So Blue by Jean-François Dumont. Look at all those blues. Thank you, Primary Group, Play Mountain Place, for loaning me this book. Jean-François Dumont, A Blue So Blue. In the middle of a big gray city lived a bright little boy. Other children his age liked to play marbles or tag, but he liked to draw and paint in the quiet of his room. Even when his mother insisted he go out and play in the sun, the little boy would sneak out with his sketchbook and his paints. His favorite spot was on the steps across the street. In the shadow of a tall building, he'd sit down and draw. He might draw a man standing in front of an ice cream store, or the lady upstairs watering her geraniums on the windowsill, or the butcher driving off in his van. Everyone thought he'd be a famous artist someday. All great artists are strange, they would say, and this is one strange little boy. I don't think he's strange. There he is right there. The little boy started having peculiar but wonderful dreams. Night after night, he kept dreaming of blue. A blue so blue it was both dark and bright. A blue so blue it was always just right. When the little boy opened his eyes one morning, he could still feel that blue of his dreams. Was it cobalt blue? Was it indigo blue? Or that hard-to-pronounce cerulean blue? He jumped out of bed and looked through his paints. He dipped his brush in every single blue he had. Then he painted tiny blue spots in his book. The little boy sighed. Not one blue was the right blue. Not one blue was the blue of his dreams. It's a neat perspective. The little boy grabbed his book and paintbrush and ran out to the street as fast as he could. He caught the number 7 and got off the bus in front of the art museum. The portrait of a smiling woman first caught his eye. He dipped his brush on her beautiful blue dress. Then he painted a tiny blue spot in his book, but it wasn't the right blue. He dipped his brush in the corner of a sky. He dipped his brush on a king's blue sash. Then he painted tiny blue spots in his book. The little boy sighed. Not one blue was the right blue. Not one blue was the blue of his dreams. That's funny. You know you can't really touch a painting, right? In a museum. The old museum guard noticed the sad little boy. He walked over to him and sat on the bench. What were you looking for in all those paintings? The old guard asked. And why were you touching them with the tip of your brush? Night after night I've been dreaming of blue, the little boy said. A blue so blue it's both common and rare. A blue so blue it's beyond compare. Can you help me find the blue of my dreams? I never traveled much, said the old guard, scratching his chin, but I've learned a thing or two just sitting right here. One day I heard someone talking about the big blue sea. Perhaps that's the blue of your dreams. The little boy rushed to the train station, bought a ticket, and boarded the westward train. The train rolled all night long. It cut across the tall mountains that circled the city, and then it zoomed through the sun-bleached prairies. Early the next morning, the train came to a stop. The sandy beach was now in full view. The passengers couldn't wait to get off the train to enjoy the sun. But the little boy had only one thing in mind, so he slipped through the crowd and ran straight to the sea. As soon as he reached the shore, he dipped his brush in a little blue wave that was tickling his knees. Then he painted a tiny blue spot in his book. The little boy sighed. It wasn't the right blue. It wasn't the blue of his dreams. The little boy wasn't ready to give up just yet. He walked and walked until he reached the port. There he met an old sailor who had sailed the 7 seas. "Are you searching for treasures in gold, matey?" the old sailor asked the little boy. "Night after night I've been dreaming of blue," the little boy said. "A blue so blue it's both precious and plain. A blue so blue it's hard to explain. Can you help me find the blue of my dreams?" "I've seen colors galore," replied the old sailor, "hundreds or more. I've seen white icebergs, red sunsets, and deep purple waves. And I've heard tell of South Sea skies so incredibly blue you could gaze at them your whole life long. Perhaps that's the blue of your dreams." The boy wasted no time and boarded the first cargo ship heading off to sea. He braved storms and blizzards and a typhoon or two. Then one day he landed on a tropical island. The little boy climbed the tallest palm tree. He dipped his brush into the rich blue sky. Then he painted a tiny blue spot in his book. He sighed. It wasn't the right blue. It wasn't the blue of his dreams. Wow, look at that. Not giving up. The little boy sat at the foot of the tree. All his hopes were gone. Suddenly, a great big turtle came out of the sea. "Why are you so sad?" she asked gently. "Night after night I've been dreaming of blue," the little boy said. "A blue so blue it's both warm and cool. A blue so blue it shines like a jewel. Can you help me find the blue of my dreams?" "I've lived many years, and I've seen all the blues you could ever imagine," said the turtle. "Far away in America, there is something called the blues that will even sing to your soul. It'll make you happy. It'll make you sad. Perhaps that's the blue of your dreams." Then the turtle slipped back into the sea. The little boy sailed across the ocean and up the Mississippi. Sweet music was coming from an old club nearby. He stepped inside and saw a man playing a blues song. The little boy sat at the edge of the stage and closed his eyes. Blues, the turtle had said, would make him happy and sad. He stood up and dipped his brush in a string of blue notes. Then he painted tiny blue spots in his book. The little boy sighed. It wasn't the right blue. It wasn't the blue of his dreams. The little boy listened to the blues all night long, long after everyone had gone. "Is my music making you sad?" the bluesman asked. "Night after night, I've been dreaming of blue," the little boy said. "A blue so blue, it's both happy and sad. A blue so blue, through good and through bad. Can you help me find the blue of my dreams?" The bluesman rested his guitar and dropped his head. "Long before my ancestors ever became slaves, they lived in Africa, far, far away. There, brave blue men roam free in the desert in their long blue robes and veils. Perhaps that's the blue of your dreams." The little boy thanked the bluesman and went on his way. He crossed the ocean still one more time and landed on the African coast. After roaming the desert for days and days, he met a tribe of blue men. The chief looked down and smiled. The little boy dipped his brush in the man's blue turban, and then he painted a tiny blue spot in his book. He sighed. It wasn't the right blue. It wasn't the blue of his dreams. "What are you looking for?" "I do not know," said the chief. "Well, what you are looking for, I do not know," said the chief. "Yet I do know that it may never have been very far away." The little boy thought of his mother back home, how he longed to see her again and be held in her arms. He thanked the blue man and continued his journey. Late one night, the little boy reached the big gray city. A soft light was glowing in the window upstairs. He ran up as fast as he could and opened the door. He stopped in the doorway and saw a pair of perfect blue eyes. Then he ran to his mother and into her arms. The little boy noticed a tear rolling down his mother's cheek. He dipped his brush on the edge of the tear. Then he painted a tiny blue spot at the end of his book. The little boy sighed. Night after night I've been dreaming of blue, he whispered to his mother. A blue so blue, it's both tender and strong. A blue so blue, it felt close all along. I looked and I asked and I started to roam till I found it at last, right here at home. And that's the end. Look at her beautiful blue eyes. Wow, and those were all the colors that he took out of the painting, and the blue man, and the blue singer, the ocean. Wow. Very beautiful. Well, I like that book. As always, it's such a pleasure to read to you. I hope you enjoyed it too. I'll see you next time. I love you.